All right, y'all, moment of truth. It's the next morning from my last video about the rodents killing all of my seedlings in my greenhouse. We're about to go in and check and see. I'm sure there'll be some dead rats or mice in the traps. I won't show you that, but we'll look and make sure that the covering that I did on the seedlings, and I put weight on top of each one, actually worked. All right, let's see. None of the traps are sprung. All the peanut butter is still there and everything is covered. Okay, well, you know, that's fine. I honestly didn't really want to kill a whole bunch of rodents. So now I'm going to pull the lids off. Now I'm like, oh God, please don't let there be more destruction, meaning it wasn't rats at all and some weird insect. I mean, I guess it's no worse. All the guys are still there. The snapdragons is going to be the real key here. Okay, so still okay. And I have to take these covers off for the daytime because they need light. All right, I mean, you know, like I said, I'm pretty positive it was rodents because number one, all the soil blocks are trampled, flattened. You wouldn't get that with a, you know, with insects. All right, guys, get some daylight. All right, well, the fact that none of the traps are sprung, maybe they just kind of came through last night and thought, this is not worth it because I can't get to anything. But they're usually suckers for peanut butter, so. Okay, so that's good. So I'm gonna water everything that needs watering, which I think is only the new seedling, the new seed stuff that I've just started. It hasn't germinated yet. And then we're gonna head out to the farm and start moving compost. Let's go. Good morning, friends. We are out at the farm. It is Friday the 13th, and I am a very superstitious person. However, Friday the 13th are pretty much always great days for me. I think of them as auspicious days, not cursed days. So we are going to start moving compost, and I'm excited. This feels like a step towards getting things in the ground. So I definitely won't get all this done today. 10 yards is a lot to move as a single person using a wheelbarrow. So we're going to do the best we can. I will come out tomorrow and do some more, and then I'll have help on Sunday from Mike and Aiden. So hopefully we can get all the compost moved and the irrigation set up. The pipe is fixed. There's actually now a copper fitting. So that should all be good to go, and I'm excited. Can't wait to get stuff in the ground. Also, all the ranunculus arrived. So I need to count back the dates because I'm going to be gone next weekend. So I need to make some calendar planning to figure out when I need to start pre-sprouting those, which I think I can do pretty soon. They take about 10 days to develop roots, but then they need to go in the ground. They can't sit in those trays forever because there's hardly any soil in them when you pre-sprout them. So I want them to be ready to go in the ground when I get back, but not struggling. So I have to do some math. Anyway, all right, let's get started on moving some compost. And there's a little dog. You can't see him. He's way up there in that garden. He's not happy that I'm down here. Poor little dude. But he's a little like Jack Russell Terrier kind of doggy. I think he'll get used to me being here after a while. All right, let's get to moving some compost. Oh, first we're going to be putting this stuff down. Molemax Mole and vole repellent granules. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work. It says it treats up to 5,000 square feet. Penetrates deep into the soil where animals burrow. It's castor oil for the most part, and then a bunch of other inert ingredients like Fuller's earth and some water. There are definitely moles and or voles out here, because you can see the evidence of them everywhere. And the landowner said last year during our heavy rains, if you looked out into the fields, it was like volcanoes shooting up out of the ground of water, because there was so much water going into the ground and running through those tunnels that it was like shooting up. So that could potentially be a problem for my plants. We'll see. That would really stink. So I'm hoping that tilling that area disturbed them a lot, and putting this stuff down will help deter them as well. I know some people have said in the past, why don't you just put down hardware cloth underneath your rows? But number one, that's a lot of hardware cloth. Two, I broad fork, and you can't do that if you have hardware cloth down. You can't till if you have hardware cloth down. So you can't do anything once you have that under the surface. So yeah, that's not what I'm going to opt to do. All right, I'm going to spray this stuff down, then start shoveling this beautiful, beautiful black compost. It was a lot of hard work. I'm wiped out. Man, every time I do this, I feel older and older. So it's late. I've been out here for many hours, but I do want to try. I'm going to work this first row and see if I can manage it to do all of them. I do want to try to use the bed rake, flatten everything out, put down the bone meal and the blood meal, and kind of rake that in. That should be less work than the wheelbarrowing and digging, but it still works, so we'll see. I haven't had that much to eat and I'm kind of shaky, but I really would like to get at least this field done. Now, one thing I decided is that this field's only going to have 5 rows. Part of that's because I was getting tired, but the other part is this. This row is really, really sloped. It needs to be tilled. I just think there's no point. So the front field there can have 6 rows and this field will have 5. That's totally fine. Yeah, it's a little less growing space, and I can always open this up in the springtime when I'm going to do successions and stuff. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on what's already tilled and already ready to be full of compost and planted. So, all right, I'm going to put my book back on and see about working on this first row and how I feel afterwards. Hopefully it won't be as bad as the wheelbarrowing was. Oh boy, I'm wiped. That is it for my workout for the day. I am absolutely spent. Completely. There's nothing left in the tank. So, compost added to 5 beds. Again, these are market garden beds. They are 30 inches wide, roughly, 40 feet long. There's 5 of them here. So, added the compost. I put down blood meal and bone meal and kelp meal on all the beds. And although I do need to scratch this in, I just don't have it in me right now to do that. So that can happen maybe tomorrow. So we still need to do these beds. These are also 40 feet long, 30 inches wide. There are 6 of those, and way plenty compost, which is good because we saved the cardboard from the shed, and I'm going to use it on that hill, that lump right there where all the flags are. Put the cardboard down. Well, first I'll string trim, put the cardboard down, cover it with compost, and then let it sit throughout the rains because that will break down the compost, and then I can plant into all of that. So that's the plan there. I also will probably cut down some of that cardboard. We have a lot of it still at home because we got a bunch of deliveries, and use them to lay out beds for the back area as well. So they will form like the foundation. Cardboard's great because it breaks down and feeds the soil, but whatever glue they use in cardboard, the earthworms love. So it encourages them to come close to the surface, to come to the area and start breaking down that cardboard, and that just increases the soil life in your soil. So another good reason to use cardboard. And you can use it, I mean, it's a great way to get rid of cardboard that you have. So that cardboard over there, I'm pointing towards the big giant box that the shed came in. Some of it won't be usable because of the inks on it. I'll have to double check, but you want to take off all of the tape, stickers, all that kind of stuff, and try. I think the black inks are soy-based inks usually, and they're usually okay. Might be the same for the colored inks now. I'll check. But you definitely don't want to leave the tape and all that stuff because that won't break down and you'll just have garbage in your soil. So, okay, I feel like I have totally earned the right to sit and knit this afternoon. I'm going to go home and shower because I'm filthy. I'm like every square inch of me is covered in dirt. Freya's is blowing around. I'm also super grateful that the sun pretty much stayed behind this little cloud most of the time I was working. It's only just now coming out now. So that's pretty awesome because it could have been a lot hotter. It's actually lovely. It's like 73 Fahrenheit out here right now. Not bad at all. And there's a very light breeze. All right, I'm going to pack up and head home and eat and do all that stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. Things are coming together. Obviously this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be, finishing these beds and getting the irrigation run and tested and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully next week, supposedly the deer fence is supposed to arrive on the 16th, which is Monday. That's going to take a few days to set up. So I probably won't be able to plant until after I get back from the East Coast, which is kind of a bummer because, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm stressed. Usually this point in October, all my plants are in the ground. So the fact that half of them were eaten and are still sitting in the the others are still sitting in the greenhouse, and I just started seeds for a bunch of others, that definitely makes me a little anxious. But like I said, the tulips should be arriving soon. I actually think I'm going to grow all the tulips in crates out here. The mole situation is pretty dire, and they love tulip bulbs. I have lots of crates, and so they're tulip crates. And so I think what I'll do, I'll keep them inside the deer fence because the deer like tulips too. But I think I'll just plant up those tulip crates. I definitely have plenty of compost, and they will do just fine. And then I won't have, and that'll also free up bed space too, for another succession of spring stuff later on. And it'll just be better. Then I can wrap those with hardware cloth to make sure nothing gets in on top, and then nothing will be able to dig in below. So I think it's just a way better way to go. And I have plenty of crates to do that with. You could fit a ton of tulips in a single tulip crate. So, all right. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.